Hi, it's Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky back with my plans and pans. Well, those of you who watched last week may remember I was wearing a mask because my dear videographer husband, Bob, had COVID. Well, a couple days later, so did I test positive. So we've been sequestered pretty much for the rest of the time. He's finally finished his time at home and is able to go out, and I should in a couple of days. So we had very, very mild cases. I attribute that to the fact that we were fully vaccinated and boosted, and we had very mild flu-like, no, not even flu-like, it was cold-like symptoms, sniffles, and I sometimes had a headache, feeling much, much better. About 73% of the cases in the United States right now are the Omicron virus, which is super contagious, not quite as deadly, fortunately, especially not too dangerous for people who, like us, have been fully vaccinated and boosted. So once again, I certainly encourage everybody to do that. Because of the prevalence, however, more and more cities and counties are asking for proof of vaccination when you go into various venues. So if you can, to have that with you when you want to move about your business, and certainly to encourage everybody to get vaccinated, to get tested. If you can't get tested, my advice before going to a New Year's Eve party or to be with family and friends is if you have symptoms, you might want to assume that you could very well have the virus and probably stay at home. I know that our New Year's Eve party this year, unfortunately, I look forward so much to being with a wonderful group of friends that we've gathered for many years, is now going to be virtual. So at least we'll get to see each other and be safe. I wanted to tell you some of the accomplishments of my offices this year. I'm so proud of our constituent service back in the 9th Congressional District of Illinois. I have the most fabulous, fabulous staff that takes pride in answering every single inquiry, every single complaint that we get, every single request for help. Well, we were able this year, and there's still a couple more days to the year, to return or save over $1 million for our constituents. That would mean helping to get lost benefits, to get benefits that were due but had not been delivered, and for veterans, for Social Security recipients, etc. We've been able to solve a whole bunch of problems for people on immigration, etc. We're very, very proud of that. We sent out 70 of these videos that give updates, 52 plans and pans, one every single week of the year, and I literally met with thousands of people virtually or a lot in person during the year, and so did my staff. We get out and about around the 9th Congressional District. I also wanted to tell you really good news about the economy that is about to wrap up for 2021. You know that the economy grew at a record rate, the fastest pace in decades, and created a record number of good paying jobs. But, this is of course the credit of the President of the United States and the Democrats in the House of Representatives. But what the challenge is for us to move forward in order to pass the Buildback Better and to make sure that our country is building back better. The president has pointed out that he took over in the middle of an economic disaster in this country, and Americans have now more money in their pockets than even before the pandemic. We know that unemployment is at historic lows right now, that retail sales are up 8.5% over last year, which is really great. Gas prices are on their way down. So, I know that there's a lot of concern about the pandemic. There's a lot of concern about the future. But I do want you to feel that at the end of 2021, that we are heading in the right direction, and there are so many reasons for optimism. But I want to talk to you about next year. The challenge, I think, the number one challenge is to protect our democracy. We have to make sure that every single American has the right to vote, and we have an opportunity. Joe Manchin did introduce the Freedom to Vote Act. That's his bill. And I am hoping that we'll be able to get that done very shortly in the new year. Yes, we're going to need to do it with Democratic votes. That means we're going to have to make some reforms in the way the votes are taken, but we can do it. And it's so incredibly important. Nothing really in our democracy is more important than that precious right to vote. And then, of course, we need to pass that Build Back Better bill, the bill that will transform how life is for ordinary Americans. That we could reduce child poverty in half. We could make sure that our seniors have long-term care, finally, home and community-based care. We can make sure that we do something historic in housing, and we can make that important investment to clean our environment, to make sure that we address the climate crisis. So all of that is really possible. I want you to feel that if we use our power, and I mean your power too, to make sure you communicate to our leaders that we have to get this done, we can get it done. Finally, I do want to make sure that you understand that open enrollment is still available for those of you who still need good health insurance. The Affordable Care Act is available, and time has not run out. You can go to Get Covered Illinois, spelled out, illinois.gov. You can get someone to help you, called a navigator, to make it happen, and your coverage will begin on February 1st. So get going. You have a couple more days this year to get that done, and you can start the next year insured. And finally, let me just say, I wish you a very, very happy, healthy, safe, prosperous, productive, and progressive new year. And I'll be with you all the way. I'll see you next week. Thank you for watching my video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where my handle is @Jan Schakowsky.